A focus around rural mental health. Reporting on the Rural Radio Network, I'm Alex Makovica. Laura Haffner serves as the Women's Leadership Chair for the Kansas Farm Bureau. She said that rural mental health has been a big focus for their group this past year.
A lot of times when we're thinking about how we can plan for rural communities, we're thinking that we need strong schools, strong businesses, proper housing, etc. But we can't be successful in our communities if we don't have healthy minds. So we've identified this cause and we're doing some programming to support that.
Tell me more about that programming. What do you guys do?
So recently at Kansas Farm Bureau's annual meeting, the Women's Leadership Committee, we teamed up with the young farmers and ranchers to host a 3-part workshop series where we were able to discuss mental health, or resiliency, if you will. We had a counselor who came in who was experienced. He grew up in ag and was a part of the 80s farm crisis. So he really gets us in the challenges that we face. And he talked through some things like, why does your mind do what it does under stress? The next workshop encompassed how do you handle that stress, or how do you work with someone who's in a mental health crisis? And then finally we had a workshop with 3 panelists who have personally dealt with mental health themselves, whether that was from a personal diagnosis, a suicide, as well as a nurse practitioner who's done some of the diagnosing and things as well.
I have to think, Laura, that even if people dealing with things aren't going to a counselor, they're at least identifying ways that they can work through these problems. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, exactly. So I think that it's important to realize that you're not alone, for one. I think that's a huge help. And sometimes I think we get overwhelmed when we think about mental health because we think it has to be this huge, scary solution. But sometimes it's just as easy as opening up and talking to a friend or a close family member, like just admitting, hey guys, I'm a little bit more stressed than normal, this is what's going on. But sometimes we do need to take it to that next level and seek professional help, and there's no shame in that. Just like if I think about some close friends who have had cancer, you wouldn't deny them treatment. So why do we do that for our friends who are maybe struggling mentally?
What do you hope to take away from this convention back to Kansas Farm Bureau to help in this effort?
So, I think one of the great things about when you come to a convention like this is that you have the opportunity to meet and network with all kinds of individuals from all across the country. And even though our crops are different, or maybe our ranching practices are a little bit different, again, one thing that we share is the resiliency factor, and we want to be resilient for our families and our communities. So when you come to something like this, we can exchange ideas, talk about what we're facing. Again, you're not alone, and maybe we share some great ideas that other states are accomplishing and able to reach their members and help with this issue.
Okay, Laura, high level things that are coming up next with the Kansas Farm Bureau, what does that look like?
So the Women's Leadership Committee is super excited that we have a retreat coming up next November. It's going to be located in northeastern Kansas. We have a venue picked out. It's going to be everything you need is there, from your stay accommodations, a pool. We're going to have some other activities there. So I think it's going to be a really great opportunity to have a small, close-knit retreat and just really get some inspirational and some resiliency skills to go back home and to face our everyday lives there on the farm or ranch there in Kansas.
That again was Laura Haffner. She serves as the Women's Leadership Chair for the Kansas Farm Bureau. Reporting at the 2023 American Farm Bureau Convention in San Juan, Puerto Rico, I'm Alex Makovica.